I would just like to check everybody can hear me, right?
Yes, Shubham, we can hear you.
Shubham, I mean, it will be much more better if you can, speak a little louder because your voice is sometimes coming a bit slow at some point.
Okay, let me do one thing. Let me do one thing. I'm just at plugging in my microphones. Let me just do. Uh, is it better now for everyone?
Much better.
Yeah.
Much better.
Much better.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So basically, I was asking you guys that you can see two, I would say, tools to write. One is a pencil and other one is a space pen. Do you feel these are competing towards getting into, like, are they competing products? And where do you feel are they competing? I
I
would
don't
love if
think,
anyone can unmute
I mean,
themselves
I
and
don't, I don't think that this both products are competing to each other because both have, even though they both have the same purpose, but both are being used on a different kind of environment or different context.
okay.
Or,
Nice.
or,
Anyone
or
else? Anyone else wants to take an
They
attempt?
both have different user. If you say like, I want if I am a student or something, I won't use this astronaut's pen. So
Okay,
they
okay.
both have a different.
But can you reverse it? Like, will a astronaut use a pencil?
Yeah, I will recall then the those three idiots question like why he don't use his pencils in his space. So, like,
Yeah.
it
So
can hurt.
basically, correct. It can hurt. It can hurt. So
Shubham, this is
yeah,
Mohit here.
yeah,
Yeah. So while I have heard this space wala story, but I think I
yeah,
have a different take on this, right?
yeah,
Today, I
yeah,
think in our industry, and I'm not just talking from a product perspective, but
yeah.
today I think anything can disrupt anything, right?
Right.
So who would have thought maybe an Amazon will come and they will completely disrupt the bookstore business, right? So bookstores were sitting very well. They were selling maybe an Oxford bookstore or whatever, right? In the US, Barnes and Nobles and many other bookstores, Borders, they were all closed just because someone came and they completely changed the way people used to buy, right? So I think if uh, this question will not be always true, right? They will compete in some way or form. You never know, there can be a use case which will maybe make them compete with each other. Today it is only
Absolutely.
space, tomorrow it could be anything else, right?
Absolutely. So it was. It's so if any everybody remembers the story correctly, this is not actually something. It was popularized by.
Alexa, pause.
Yeah. So it was popular. Do you want me to pause? Rapido. I am not Alexa, but anyways. So yeah, space pen and pencil story was popularized by, as everyone said and could recall, that it was popularized by Three Idiots. But it's a very practical example of having when you write use cases or when you do research. We use word use case a lot, but I love use cases to be called jobs, and all jobs for which a particular product is getting hired for has some context attached to it. So when I say which will be hired in space, it has context of, so space is the job. Now why space is the job? Actually space is not the job. हम बहुत generalize करके space बोल देते हैं, but the thing was, it is how can I write in zero gravity? Because all the pens which used to come had a capillary action. Jisme fluid goes down the nib of the pen because of gravity. But if there is no gravity, how will the pen work? How will the liquid flow be there? And pencil is something which works by simple laws of friction. आप उसको rub करते हैं, उसको लिखते हैं, तो उस पे निशान रह जाते हैं पेपर पे, right? It's a simple friction thing. Friction exists in zero gravity as well. मतलब touching of two surfaces does work in zero gravity space as well, right? But why did Russia didn't invest? So Russia ने जब अपना सबसे पहला space mission किया, when they did their first space mission, they didn't invest in inventing a space pen. They simply gave their astronauts a pencil because the job was simple. I need a writing tool, or I would say I need a tool which can help me record my observations in zero gravity. Okay, this is something which they gave. So again, इसमें competition recording का जब मैं बोल देता हूँ, जब मैंने थोड़ा और context add किया job में recording, so you can also use tools like somebody was calling out to Alexa. Now you have Alexa. Now you have phones. You have advanced technology where you can record your conversations, or you can also record what you're speaking, your observations, right? Back then it was not there, or it was not feasible to take it because the amount of electricity supply and everything was limited. The batteries need to get charged by proper solar energy and all that. The constraints were there, right? So they needed a tool to record the observation. They gave pencil, but again, there came a very unfortunate accident of Apollo 11, in which Apollo 11 bursted into flames and a couple of astronauts died. So that is where everybody got a context that as much as possible, I don't want any inflammable objects in the spaceship. I want to reduce it to as much as possible. And having pencils are inflammable, right? They're made out of wood. So that's where space pen, जिसके ऊपर काफी मजाक बनाया गया, like Russia used to mock USA that these guys invested billions of dollars to invent space pen, and we did it by simple pencil. That's where things changed. That's where even Russia adopted space pen, and now it's a widely used object by space in space, and it's more of a gifting article now. People gift each other space pens. So what I'm trying to say here is that a lot of people don't understand use cases the way they should be understood, and that's what we are going to understand in today's session. Yeah, so let's see that what all we will be learning today. So we will be learning about 3 core concepts. One is journey or life cycle of building kick-ass products. Second point is what is customer profile, and the third point which we will be learning today is core elements of jobs to be done framework. In all these points, I would love to have as much interaction as possible. You guys can stop me anywhere in between. It's not a traditional, I don't like to do traditional presentations or sessions wherein I will only entertain Q&As once I'm done. So you can pause me and you can ask me questions and we can interact, and it will be a two-way interaction. I will also be giving out some activities in between, so we can keep it very much interactive. So before I dive into the first topic, journey or life cycle of building kick-ass products, how many of you have heard the words product market fit and minimum viable product? And what do you understand from it? Like, anybody can quickly take a go at it. Like, what do you mean by product market fit? Do you know the origin stories about it? What is an MVP?
So MVP is something which is like minimum viable product, as you said. So we release minimum features instead of releasing whole product. We release the minimum features first, and then we test in the market. We take the feedback from the customers and other stakeholders, and then we come to the conclusion that whether we want to proceed further for the actual product or not.
Okay.
It is a
nice.
minimum functional product which completes our requirement, which we can validate with the users. Like, are we
Okay.
on the right path or wrong path, or do we need to do more study on this or not?
Okay. What about product market fit? Anybody wants to go or take a go at it? Like, what do you know or what do you understand from the word product market fit?
It's up to what extent that product is satisfying the market demand. So there will be some demand for that product, for that solution in the market. So to what level of extent that the product that we are building is satisfying that demand.
Okay.
I mean, it's more like a business term, I would say, like, but rather if you talk it from a solution perspective, it is more like, whether it's solving a genuine problem in the, let's say mass. So basically, like, whether it is solving some kind of problem which needs to be solved, like a significant problem. So what is basically, I mean, the way the guy, I guess the previous person said, was that, what is the demand? So basically demand and this thing is more like a business term. But when we say, like a product market fit, it's more like marketing and research based term, I guess.
Or maybe if I can, say it in like the layman term, the product market fit is like, if I'm a user and if I want to do something, and if I want something, and if I get that particular thing to get something done, then that is, I'm going to be used. So as in the producer of the product, they can say that the kind of problem that it is being solved, or maybe it is being requested, and your product is actually solving that, or getting that particular requirement fulfilled, then we can say that that is actually the perfect product market fit, I guess.
So I guess we have a lot of different opinions. Yeah. Somebody is going taking a go.
So if we decode the term product market fit, so we could say like where this product fits to which market,
Okay.
which domain. Because there is, if I say if I am to use a pencil, so it can be used at many places. So where it particular fits into the market, because we cannot like when you show the astronauts and pencil example, the pencil is usually fit into a different domain, and astronauts pen fits into different market, different domain. So we see like this is the area it fits. So we discover, we try to research it. So where exactly this product fits into the market.
Okay. So everybody, I guess, when they took a go at it, they are talking about mostly two things, two circles overlapping. But in product market fit, there are three circles, and all the circles are equally important. And designers, product guys, and sales and business development equally play important role in working in all the three circles when you're building a company from scratch. Not only from scratch, even once you have achieved something at your startup. And I guess everybody is in a startup phase when they are building a new product line in their existing company. So every new product line you develop needs to follow this kind of a process. And it's not something which I am coining, or it's not something which I have done. What I've done is I've read a lot from the guy who originated this theory. It came from Mark Anderson from biggest venture capitalist firms in the globe, and one of the greatest guys who put out a lot of what you can say content on product development and how to build feasible businesses. So one of the first circles in product market fit is desirability. Now, what do you mean by desirability? People will say problem should have an impact, problem has impact, or problems have impact, right? But how do you measure that impact? So when you have to measure this impact, this is where user experience research comes into picture. You have to meet as many people as there are out there and go out and see how they operate. When we talk about building empathy and when we talk about user personas, one thing which we get wrong is we do our research more of the times online. We try to research more about demographics. We try to research more about things which are not very important. And we try to develop empathy, which all the designers talk about and product people talk about in a very, very virtual way. Even when in the pre-COVID scenario, if you really want to empathize with your user, with the people for whom you want to solve the problem for, you have to be that guy. You have to do that job they are doing, and then you will definitely know, is it the right problem to solve, and what exact impact will you make if you solve the problem. This is the part where research people will come into picture, and even a business development executive, Mohit, can help a loads in this, because they are the people who are spending hell lot of time with customers, with end users, and they're observing them day in, day out, even when the company is in a very nascent stage, right? And the second thing which they have to see is how many of this kind are out there. This is how you define impact, whether it is a more is the important problem to solve or not, and what exact thing it will, like, if solved, what value it will create for the user, is the first parameter for desirability. And second is how bigger market is out there, how many people or how many companies, in B2C it's users, in B2B it's businesses, how many enterprises or businesses are out there who want this problem to be solved. So that will define your desirability. Once you know the desirability, you are still working out on the problem. The second thing which comes into picture is feasibility. And this is where designer roles come into picture. Not just designers, not just UX designers, but the product people, the co-founders, the developers, the business development executive. So feasibility is, can we develop a solution, or is there a solution to this problem? Okay, if there is a solution, then you have to see how efficiently this can solve the problem, the given problem, the desirable problem. And if you get an overlap, you have achieved a problem solution fit. Now, how do you ask people is what you can define as prototypes. So you will not have your MVP at this stage. You will have prototypes of your solutions, which you want to rapidly iterate on. You want to show that prototype. It can be even on Google Sheets. You don't need high fidelity prototypes. You don't even need wireframes. If it can be worked out on a Google Sheet, on a Google form, this is not the place where you're trying to sell your experience. This is where you're trying to validate whether the solution you're thinking about will work in the practical domain or the day-to-day life or not. So this is where you achieve problem solution fit. And this is what we are going to talk about today in depth. Like, how do you make the problem solution fit? How do you solve this problem of problem solution fit? The next stage which is there, which I guess Anderson has written a lot about, and recently Rahul Vora from Superhuman has spoken loads about it, that what is product user fit. This is very important. Now you have desirability, you have feasibility, you have found out your solution fit. Now you are building a MVP and you are giving it to your users. Once you are giving it to your users, are they using it every day? Are you solving a problem for which they are going to come in your product every day? Actions, which they will do those actions in a loop. All that needs to be monitored. And if you are seeing people, if you are seeing emergence of patterns of super users जो आपको WhatsApp पे परेशान करेंगे, अगर आप B2B में हैं तो WhatsApp पे definitely परेशान करेंगे आपको, and your personal WhatsApp will be screwed up. And if you are in B2C market, you will get a lot of reviews. If you have given it, like if you have user focus groups and you are testing it out, you will definitely get people who will be happy to give you feedback without any incentives. If you are going into that phase, trust me, you are at a product user fit. Like, people are vouching for your product, people are championing your product, and you're still not market ready. Iske baad market fit aata hai. Now, product user fit is, you will have handful of super users who are going to go on war with this product. Like, they will say, ye product use kar raha hu, iski wajah se hi mere ko sab kuch benefit mil raha hai, and they will sell the product like crazy. They will get more people on board. And this has happened to me practically when we were developing things at Shipments. We have found customers jinke liye humne 2 or 3 problems we solved, and they were so happy. They have introduced us to at least 5 to 6 more customers, which are now our closed beta customers, without any budget for sales or any efforts in sales. So that is where you know that you have achieved, or you are achieving product user fit. Now it's time to add the third and the most important circle, which most of the startups forget about: viability. Now, what is viability? Viability is willingness to pay. आपने problem था, उसके लिए solution दे दिया. Now, till the time everything is free, and especially in India, people will use your product. But when you make it paid, they will find millions in different ways to not pay or use it for free. So you have to see that how they will pay and why they will pay, and what is their willingness to pay. Like, what are the things for which they are willing to pay the most? that becomes the most important features or solutions you should build first and should complete the loop on, and then you can start building things which are not that high on the willingness to pay framework or willingness to pay prioritization. So product market fit is achieved when you have figured out your desirability, you have figured out your feasibility, and you have figured out a viability. And by viability, I mean how much they are willing to pay and how are you going to charge them. If they are willing to pay, then you have to also define your business model. Is it going to be transactional? Is it going to be subscription based? All these are very important things, and this is where designers also need to come into picture. Why I'm talking about business in a design talk is, if you understand the business aspects, you can figure out the loopholes and the most important features for which users are highly willing to pay, and you can make them perfect. So you can reduce churn ratios, you can reduce bounce rates, all these metrics which product managers talk about, you can very well reduce them with a kick-ass design. And that's the life cycle of building a kick-ass product. Once you have achieved your product market fit, you are in a growth stage. You will need a lot of people to grow your company from one to many. You have already done your journey of 0 to 1, and you are embarking upon a journey where you need to go from one to many. So that's the journey in short, and I've tried to cover the basic concepts. Is any question there right now? Any inputs anyone has?
Shubham, will it be also possible for you to maybe give an example for maybe products or companies which are at these stages? Maybe if not all, at least the product market fit?
Yeah, so I will give an example of Superhuman. Okay, why I'm taking example of Superhuman, or I can also take example of very good product which I recently used, which is Hey. So Hey is a product from people at Basecamp, that is DHH and Jason Fried. These guys have written the I love them, their work and their the way they work. So both these companies, Superhuman and Hey, they have redefined the way people should use inboxes. People should communicate on emails, and both of them are now in product market fit. But there was a stage where they were in product user fit. So I guess 1.5 years back or almost 2 years back, Superhuman was in a product user fit where people were championing about their product, and these were CEOs or these were CXO level people who were talking about their inbox solution on LinkedIn. They were sharing snippets like, this is beautiful. This has reduced my email problem to like I can complete reading all the most important emails in just 5 minutes. It's super easy to use in comparison to anything out there. And same way, when Hey is coming out, Hey is in, I guess, still in a product user fit rather than product market fit, because they recently launched in COVID scenario, and people are talking about Hey. People are sharing a lot on Twitter. People are sharing about it on LinkedIn. So Hey is in a product user fit. Superhuman transformed from product user fit to product market fit, because now people are willing to pay. They have a pricing page, they have a pricing model, and they have figured it out. They are stable in their philosophy of pricing. I hope that helps, Mohit.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah. Perfect, guys. So as I said that I want to talk more about the problem solution fit, because that's the most important phase in any startup. That's the make or break process, make or break phase. And when there is one more term I want to cover, and then I'll jump right into it, is pivoting. So if you are not able to find out a viable business model, that's where you pivot and you go back to problem solution fit or product user fit, because people are not really willing to pay. So pivots can happen at product user fit, or pivots can happen at product market fit. But once you are in a growth stage, it's very hard for you to pivot. It's very hard for you to pivot. So as I said, we want to talk more about problem solution fit, and specifically about personas. So can people, by show of hands, give me a count that how many of you are designers here and have written personas previously? Or they can just say yes as well.
Yeah, sure. I have created personas. So I was working for a business process company before. So I had to create personas because I had to you know write down the exact processes, and then in order to map them, I had to write down the user personas as well. So I have done this before.
Perfect. Anyone else here has written personas, and I have written down the attributes as well of personas. So there are things which I guess people will relate to in personas. I have not written the part where use cases are there, but some things are there for which will correlate to the part of use cases. But the persona attributes I've written is more from a designer's perspective. Generally, designers write in these points in these categories. So anyone who is wants to take a go, like anybody who has written a persona previously? Okay, no issue. So let's move ahead. So what I want to highlight is what is going wrong in your personas right now. And this is I have realized this in a very hard way by writing personas previously. When we were like, I didn't used to write personas, but I used to read a lot of personas online, and most of the time which the things which are coming out, like even when today I'm reviewing some personas or some work of designers who I want to hire, I read or I see highlights which are working in this area. Either they are highlighting too much about the person, his story or her story, user's background, demographics, and some quote or some story about the user. And then they are talking a lot about level of expertise or knowledge the user has. Uh, these are equally important points, but the other points which you don't see highlighted right now are the most important points from the perspective of developing a product, and that is what is getting missed. And uh, personas are a way of writing, they are not a way of research. You need a proper research framework to write this. Persona in itself is not a research framework, it's just a way to organize the research you got, the way you can write it. It's not a research framework as such. You need a research framework to understand the motivations, the task or behaviors your users take up, or the needs or goals they have. So all these things take a back seat when you are doing a persona. You will and things like that, and that's where your personas go for a toss. They don't work out, they fail, and probably they communicate the wrong thing, or the wrong product will be built out, and that's where you will not have a product solution fit. Your pyramids, the triangles of the pyramids won't fit if your problem space is not clearly defined. So what I would like to give you is a very simple tool proposed in one of the books called Value Proposition Design. You can check it out. It's a very great book from Stratogen. So it's a very simple way. It gives out a very simple way to map out customer profiles. You can write it in 3 categories, very simply put: customer jobs, gains, and pains. So anybody wants to take a go, like give me an example before even knowing about the framework, and anybody wants to take a go on customer jobs or pains and gains, what they understand from these words?
Yeah, Shum. So I'll tell you. So how I used to do it. Obviously, I didn't use I did not use these 3 frameworks. So I would use obviously there was people who I was doing the research on. Then I would categorize these in process, infra, and measurements. So processes is basically, I think, the customer jobs parts that you're referring to. So what they are doing, what that user is currently doing. Infra, what are some of the resources they are using. And then obviously measurements. So measurements sit on top of all these parameters. So these were the 3 parameters that I used to do when I used to do the user research or create user personas.
Perfect.
For yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, Sunny. So anyone else, like how they write personas, can they tell me like how they are writing more about needs, goals, tasks, behaviors?
So Shubham, I have a I have to say something here. Like when I was writing persona for my project in OYO Life, I was more concerned about the situation and scenario when the product, when people use that particular product, because it is not that product that they can use it on in their daily life. They can use OYO Life only when they feel the need of it, like only when they feel the need of relocating to different location. So in that scenario, I have understand that what is kind of frustrations and pain points they go through when they are looking for a property online, because they are relocating to different locations. So seeing a property physically, it becomes a challenge. So they have to get every information online itself, like they have to make a proper mental image of that particular property. Plus the gains were that, you know, once they create that mental image, once they create that mood board in their brain, like what kind of property it is, they are actually willing to pay for that particular property online without even visiting that property. So yeah, so these were some of my experiences while creating personas.
So you touched upon frustration, pain points, and you also touched upon, I guess, task and behaviors. But one, motivation and attitude, needs and goals, and context. Context, I think you're talking about context as well. But again, this the way you write is very important, right? The persona structure is in a way that it is not connecting the dots. If you see the persona, the traditional persona structure, it doesn't connect the dots for you, right? The dot is a dot being, if you are doing a job in a particular context, you will have certain pains with your current solution, and if you do that job right, you will achieve some gains. That's a basic framework. You will have jobs which are nothing but the way your customer is trying to get things done in his work, in his life, and it is something which he's expressing in his own words. You're not putting words in his mouth. He is trying to explain things to you, and the framework, the jobs to be done framework, which we'll cover now in next few slides, will help you understand how to note it down. So when you are asking customer these questions on jobs to be, like when you are asking questions about customer jobs, you are not going to ask this कि आप ओयो को किस लिए hire करेंगे or what are the jobs you are looking for which you want to hire OYO. You will ask them questions in a way that you can take them down in the jobs to be done framework, and it will actually give you the task or things they do to achieve something. Now that achieve something wala part also will cover, like what is that something and how they are feeling that they have made some progress in their life or they've got something done in the framework itself. So customer job is a simple definition, getting things done, whether it is related to their work or their personal life. They want to get things done and achieve some outcome out of it. Anything which you do in life comes with risks, comes with obstacles, comes with bad outcomes, and that becomes your pain areas. Anything which has high risk becomes a pain. If I do it wrong, then what will happen? Obstacles would be, I'm not able to see the properties. That was the obstacle in the scenario you were talking about, Priyanka, that there is an obstacle and there is a risk also associated with it. And there comes a point where all these things are being taken care by a current solution, but that solution is not doing the 100% job. It is underserving the user, and hence there is scope of a new product in that segment. And that's how you have so many products competing in the same segment, because one or the other product leaves out one job. They are not serving that job completely. They are not having that complete what you can say overlap. The solution and the problem space don't overlap in that situation, and that's why you have competing products in the same segments. So these are the three things which you should remember throughout the session today: gains, pains, and customer jobs. And we will be talking about customer jobs now. Yeah, so the last point in gain, pains, and customer jobs is obviously gains. And I talked about bad outcomes. Similarly, the opposite part of it is the positive outcome, the outcome you wanted to achieve. And once you achieve that outcome, you will have some benefit. So it can be monetary benefit, it can be an emotional benefit. Like if you're going out for a trip and you have a beautiful property from OYO Rooms, you are having that emotional benefit. You have having that aha moment, like I am living in the best property right now. if you are filing your tax return, or if you are doing some financial transaction and you gain some money out of it, the benefit is I earned more money. I was able to maximize my profit, or I was able to maximize the amount of money I will get back in the tax return while I'm doing my tax return, right? So these are the gain points. So again, I'm repeating myself: customer jobs, pains, and gains. These are the three words you have to remember when you're writing a customer profile. Everything else can go into backstage, and you have to focus only on these three areas. If you will focus only on these three areas, trust me, you will not need demographics, because the gain, pains, and customer jobs can change according to context, but they will not change according to the the kind of person. Because even when my dad is trying to get a property to stay, he's also looking for the same he's looking for a similar experience, but he's not going to change the way he works because of his age, or we cannot generalize his experience because of his age or because of the monetary background he comes from, right? So that's why demographics don't work. And as we move ahead in this session today, you will realize that how jobs to be done can do wonders for you. So again, I want to ask you guys one question one last time: that do you still feel that people buy your product, or they are hiring your product and they are paying you salary? What do you feel? Do you feel the answer is buying, or do you feel is yeah?
Can I ask a question on persona?
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
So actually, in my case, because the pain you have, the gain you have. But is it in relate to like an actual product that we have in the market, that my product? Because if I am working that is not in the market right now, and I am just creating a persona out of it. So
yeah.
So in my, because I was doing like a project, because the project was not in the market, it was not released, it was just in the early stages, and I was doing the persona. So at that stage, we also like to do what are their pains.
Anytime when you are Sayed, anytime when you are working on a product which is from scratch, or you are the first mover in that area, uh, there will be some current solutions which are not working in the way they wanted it to be, and you are going to replace that solution. It can be a product, or it can be a simple pen and paper as well. So now when I go into an example, you will be able to connect the dots. I will be giving you two examples today from which you will be able to connect the dots, and we will come back to the pain and gains part, and we will be covering pain and gains in much more detail on how to interview users about pains and gains in much deeper way tomorrow. So I guess you will have your answer by the end of tomorrow's session. Even today you will have some answers to it, but yeah, you will have the perfect answer to it by tomorrow. Yeah.
But the way I did it, like because for me the pain is that currently which the current products are not solving, and the gain that if please correct me if I'm wrong, the pain that they will get if they use my product. Like, is it right to say?
So pain is something which will be relieved if they use my product, and it is something which they are not able to. It is something which is existing because of the products they use, or they don't even are using a product. So pains are because of that, and gain is something which is a additional outcome. It is something additional they will be able to achieve apart from the core benefits which you are going to solve, for which they are going to hire you for. They will get some core benefits out of additional core benefits, or you are going to increase something or decrease something for them. Either you're going to save time or reduce the time they take to do it, or you are going to maximize something. So those becomes your gains. Pain is something which they were not able to do in the right way previously, and you have just solved it.
Okay, so the pain
So
is still the solution.
pain is not a solution. Pain is not a solution. That's why I want to take the example. And if you may, I will be able to take the example now. I will walk you through one example, and you will definitely understand what I'm talking about here. So I will ask you the question right away, that why do you feel that the things have changed the way you listen music? Why are you not using tape recorders anymore? The Philips tape recorder we used to have, or the Walkman we used to have, or the iPod we used to have, why they have been replaced over a period of time? Why do you think the products don't exist anymore?
Because user needs are evolving, they are changing.
User needs have evolved. Okay, I don't think the user needs have evolved that much. The needs were
Need
very
is the
same.
same. Needs is the same. Like they still want to hear a music, but
Yes,
the ease it has changed. For a
correct.
Walkman, I have to go up to purchase a Walkman, and there is a lot of investment involved. Like for the Spotify, I don't have to go for a purchase of music. My
Okay,
ease is really really solved, because for a tape recorder I cannot go and take the tape recorder everywhere. So that is why Sony Walkman comes. Then Sony Walkman was difficult to carry. Then the iPods,
correct.
and iPod was expensive. Then Spotify. So like it solves a lot of problem in
Correct. So
comparison
now
to the
the
other products.
problem which you're talking about, Syed, the problem is still the same. The thing which for which your product was going to be hired for, is still is still the music listening experience. Like मुझे म्यूजिक सुनना है, मुझे म्यूजिक कैसे सुनना है, मैं म्यूजिक सुनने के लिए एक प्रोडक्ट को हायर कर रहा हूँ. आई एम हायरिंग अ product for listening to music, but the context to it got started getting added. So let me define. Can you define the way you used to listen to music before we start getting into the pains part, and how each product solves some pain areas and got hired for the next job? Like a pain got added to that job, and there was a new product which was covering more pain points, and hence it solved more pain points, and it became a product which replaced the older one. Can you define, like, I guess
Yeah,
all of you are from 90s,
yeah,
can
I
you
can.
define how you listen to music in tape recorder?
Yeah. So, for the tape recorder, uh, I can only listen to the music that I have on the tape.
Mhm.
Nothing more. So, like if I go to the Spotify, I can listen to any music that I want. So that barrier has been reduced a lot.
So as I said, there are steps to it, and everybody, all the products, these are the steps which you have when you are listening to music. So what I wanted to tell you was, you can break out the music listening experience into these many steps. So whenever I have an urge to listen to music, like whenever you have some urge to listen to music, you have some mood in mind, like you have some दिमाग में कुछ चल रहा है, like you want to stay up, or you want to be motivated, or you have some kind of a weather and you want to listen to ghazals, right? So you have a mood for which you select some music, and then you retrieve and organize, right? So selection used to be, when you were on tape recorder, you used to have a set of cassettes lying around in your house, and you will just go and check कौन सा वाला किसका कैसेट क्या सुनना है, मुझे गजल सुननी है, या I want to listen to indie pop or whatever. So you will select what kind of music you want to listen to. Then you would get that cassette out, and you will then put it in the tape recorder. And again, the experience of playing the music, the music is something tape recorder was solving. Tape recorder was never solving. It was never recommending anything to you according to the mood. It was never helping you in selecting the genre of music you want to listen to. It was also not helping you retrieve or search the cassette in the right way. These are all parts or steps you take while you listen to music. These are all the tasks, subtasks, I would like to say. When you are saying you want to listen to music, these are the steps you will take to listen to music, right? And a tape recorder was not solving any of these tasks. So these were the underserved tasks when you talk about tape recorder. And it was also not doing a very good job at playing experience, because if you wanted to fast forward to the next song, उसमें वो दबा के रखना पड़ता था button fast forward का, and a weird sound will come out of the tape. If you want to listen to the other side of the tape, you have to change the cassette and then play it, right? So playing experience was also not flawless, right? It was not seamless for you. And that's where, if you add one more context, it was not available to you on go. Like you cannot carry a tape recorder on go. Like you cannot carry it on your shoulder, or you cannot carry it while you are exercising. A lot of people want to listen to music on go. And one of the jobs I feel, the circumstances I feel I wanted to listen to music always was when we were traveling for our summer vacations. And that's where I remember my granny used to carry a Walkman, Sony Walkman, because it was the easiest way to have listen to music on go. And that's where it solved one pain point, one pain which was there, the one pain point. As I said, pain is something which is underserved. It can be something, it can be an obstacle. So current obstacles in listening to music are you have to find a cassette, or you have to change the size in cassette, or the other thing which I said was underserved jobs. So underserved job is here, I cannot listen to music on go. That is something which the Sony Walkman was able to solve, but it was not able to solve the other, you can say the other obstacles in listening to music. It was not helping me retrieve and organize the music. It was not again helping me in any type of selection, or it was also not recommending any music to me based on the mood I have today. So it was only covering one underserved job, which was listening to music on go. Now Steve Jobs came in, and Steve Jobs thought that why not serve all these things? Why not help people select the genre, select, easily retrieve or search the music, help them store more music, and also modify the list, also help them modify the way they want to listen to music, store it the way they want to do, right? So that's where he came up with the strategy of 1000 songs in your pocket. And that's where it was helping you with at these 4 steps: selecting the genre of music, retrieving and organizing the music. We were able to store the songs as per genre, and it was allowing you to play the music seamlessly. You were able to go to next song in the playlist quite seamlessly. You were able to modify the list. You were able to make your own list, but still the limitation was you can only listen to 1000 songs, and you can't really minimize the efforts. You still need to think more about, can I minimize the efforts which is going into selection of the music? Can I really store more, or do I want to even store? These are the things which which became questions, and these are something which are gains. So pain was listening to music on go. Pain was selecting the genre, storing it, retrieving it, modifying the list. And gain is something which is an additional, which is a nice to have. Nice to have is I am giving you sharing, I am giving you a way to not store it and get the, and don't store it on your machine or on your mobile devices, right? And that's how the music experience has changed. And one more step now which has come in the world of social media is sharing what you are listening to. You are not able to share what you are listening to in a iPod. You are not really able to tell your friends that I'm listening to this song. Even when iPod got replaced by iPhone or smartphones, you are not really able to share the music you are listening to. You are not able to show to the world that you have a good taste in music. And that's where Spotify has tried to solve all these. Spotify, not only Spotify, any music streaming app which is out there in market now, helps you with everything. Like if you have, this is something I have observed, and you guys can share your observation. It is recommending me music according to the day of the, so it knows in a way that what kind of mood I have in a particular time of the day, because of the way I listen to music. So in morning, I love to listen to Indian classical or spiritual music. In morning or after, in the afternoon hours, I like EDMs. So it will recommend me EDMs. In the evening time, I like a certain kind of music. It starts recommending me. Selection is very easy. Retrieving it is very easy. I can pause anywhere and start listening to the next song. I can put it in a playlist. And most importantly, I can share. I can tell the world that I'm listening to this. This is my playlist, and you can use my playlist. If you love the way, if you have the similar taste in music as I have, you can listen to my playlist. And that's the one more job which they have solved. So what I'm trying to say here is, if you see the whole experience, if you see the steps in listening to music, if you map it, you will see there were some pains, there were some underserved jobs, or there were some obstacles in the playing experience, which the next set of products solved, and they got hired for that particular experience, and there were some gains, some nice to have things, not must have and should have. There were some nice to have things which were innovated from scratch. And that is where nice to have things always come as a disruptive innovation. They are not normal incremental innovation. Everything else you saw was incremental innovation. Sharing it or recommending music as per what, as per day of time, as per your pattern of listening to music is something was disruptive innovation. People knew that people like when you were doing research, you knew that people tend to listen to music because of a mood they have, but nobody was able to give that kind of a disruptive innovation. And that's where music streaming have come up with mood prediction and pattern predictions, and obviously the social element to it. So any questions you guys have now?
With all of these, we again come to the.
Somebody played the Spotify like that.
I guess there is some. I guess Syed, you can like talk after 5 minutes. I guess Ajan is going on. It's the time of your prayer, so uski wajah se I will not be able to hear you properly. Or what we can do is I can move on to the next set of slides I have, and anyone else, if they have any questions, they can shoot their questions and we can take them up right now.
Shivam, this is Mohit here. So my perspective, right? I mean, all the problems with maybe a tape recorder to the Walkman to the Apple iPod, right? All this we can identify today in retrospect, right? But these were wonderful products of their own time.
Absolutely,
right? I think it is. Yeah. It is also about, I think, moving towards a more, I would say, as a service economy, right? As a service culture that we all are now moving towards, rather than owning a product, right? I think I think your initial question was whether you buy a product or you hire a product, right? So I think the culture or the customer behavior is, I think, moving more towards having everything as a service rather than owning it right? So I think that's also a change.
Absolutely, Mohit. Absolutely. And I don't feel I feel right now I am doing a retrospection. Obviously, we today are doing a retrospection, but I feel the guys who were able to do this, so these are the guys who have came up with these frameworks, these beautiful frameworks. They have written it in different ways. Creative selection is something which is written by a designer who played an important role in the development of iPod and iPad at Apple. So उसमें भी similar kind of things लिखा है, but these were things which I am 101% sure Steve Jobs was able to think about. His set of designers were able to think about, because they were mapping the whole experience. They were going into the nitty-gritties, and that's where I am trying to give this framework. I am trying to share my experience with a retrospection example. Obviously, I have used it in my day-to-day product life cycle, and I know that how you can use it. I am trying to give you a more connected example so that you guys can connect the dots, that products were they were beautiful products, but your product will be replaced. And that's where I guess Apple did a wonderful job. iPod के बाद they came up with iMusic, iCloud पे music आप share कर सकते हैं. Their whole platform of buying music, they have albums releasing on their platform, and whoever is using Apple products will stick to their platform rather than going to any other platform, because the ecosystem they have developed for services, not only the hardware product but the services they offer, is something which sits together beautifully. And that's why people who use Apple products once, it's not because of a status symbol or brand. I guess these are some statements widely made about Apple products. It's because of the connected experience you get, the connected service experience you get, is because you stick to Apple products. So I am very sure that they thought about these things, because Walkman was already there, CD was already there, and Apple was into Apple was developing computers. They were competing with Microsoft. They were nowhere in music before that, and suddenly they felt that they need to be in personal computing and they need to change certain problems. And that's how you come up with disruptive products which break the market, and that's how you do it. So doing your research right. What I'm trying to highlight today is doing the problem mapping right, understanding your customer base right, or the jobs for which your product will be hired for is very important. And in service economy, it is becoming more and more important to understand this job. Otherwise, you will be replaced by the next in line product.
Absolutely. I just want to add that if you look at those products, right? I mean, Sony or Apple, or today we talk about Spotify or any other local products like Gaana.com and all.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you look at the next disruption, right, it has been done by someone else, right? So it also, in a way, shows that maybe a Sony becomes too complacent that I am doing the right things, right? They may be just improving their own products, not really looking at disrupting the way they are operating.
Absolutely.
Similarly,
Absolutely.
I would say, like, here comes the innovation part of it. Like, when you are in a problem, you indulge so much into it that you start to go out of the box or think out of the box. So those products thought out of the box and they innovated something new.
Correct. So
Yeah.
and when I want, so I just want to connect the dots for everyone here, and let's we will move on to the framework part of it, because I just took a generic example to help you guys understand how service economy works and how now things are getting hired and you're not buying products. Actually, you're not buying physical things to get things done. You're buying more service based products, right? So what Syed is trying to say and what Mohit correctly highlighted, out of box, when I say, and complacent, out of box and complacent इसलिए हो जाते हैं लोग because they are sticking too much to their present product. They are thinking of making that product more and more useful in its current form. They're not going back to the problem once again. They're not thinking about the other things they may have left out when they were building that product from scratch. They're not going back to how people are doing it now. What are the steps? Have they changed? I don't feel the steps change. I don't feel the guy who used to listen to music. Even my dad uses Spotify now, right? My dad uses, my mom is using YouTube music. My mom is using YouTube. So if they're like, if you generalize this is the problem. This is what I wanted to highlight, that personas or research which used to be done, वो पहले ही ऐसा age gap और age का restriction डाल देते थे, इतना bias उस research में आ जाता था कि they were saying कि segment यही है and इसके अंदर ही play around करना है. So don't have those limitations. Make it only about the experience you want to deliver and what are the steps to deliver that experience and what part of step you are covering. And once you want to, like, when you feel one step is covered perfectly fine, you need to start thinking about the other steps involved in that whole experience. Because if you will not do it, if you will focus on making one step more and more better, like for example, what these guys did was Sony and all, what they did was they started thinking more about making the experience of listening or sound effects के ऊपर उन्होंने ज़्यादा focus किया. They focused on 3D surround sound. They focused on various kinds of effects you can have in the various tape recorders which were getting pushed, right? They came up with the speakers and all that, right? And these are also equally important parts, right? But the next, and that is where iPod also was had a beautiful speaker, right? And Apple iPhones also have a beautiful speaker, but they're also thinking about the other steps. They're not just thinking about one step and going vertically down in it. They're thinking about all the steps involved and they're horizontally expanding their product or service. And that's very important. And that you can only do when you are able to understand the job for which your product will be hired for. Your product can be hired for multiple jobs, and there can be a set of jobs which needs to be solved for a particular problem, like for a customer to hire a product, there can be multiple main jobs and they can have fine bifurcations. So what this framework help you do is it helps you to give it gives you a framework in which you can think about your questions, about the way you look or observe things around you, and then it helps you to go out of the box. This is a framework which was, and I want to just put it very clearly here, it's not a user research framework. The origination of jobs to be done framework is in marketing. And it is the book and everything, all the resources have been written by marketing research guy from Harvard. Okay, they are all of the people who have written books on this framework, they are all from marketing background, but now it is being used in user experience because it sits well with all the three departments or all the three aspects of the product. researching about the product, designing the product, and selling it. So now we will just of jobs to be done framework. Any points or any questions anyone has, we can quickly take them, or we'll dive deeper into the elements now.
So I was saying that with these innovations, the as you have already talked about, the feasibility also comes into the place. Like if you put Spotify a few years earlier, you won't be able to build the mood board of kind of thing because of the AI was not developed that much.
No, so Syed, that's where you are wrong. I feel you are talking about viability. Feasible the product tabhi bhi tha, it was working out fine. Viability is the part where you are still figuring out a business model. Now people are more willing to pay for it in the service economy model. They're willing to pay in a subscription based way for listening to music rather than buying CDs and cassettes, or buying music online, right? That's the viability part. Feasible to solution pehle bhi tha.
The mood, because mood is mainly done by if I am right, it is done by AI, and AI was not developed that much at that stage of time. It
Absolutely.
is being adopted right now, so that becomes the feasibility part of
Absolutely. So 5 years back, I guess 6 years back, yes, I can definitely take that as a answer. Yeah, feasibility was a blocker. But after that, since some time they were keeping it free, they were still figuring out the viability option. Like YouTube Music was free for a long time. Spotify was also free for a longer period of time in India. And even when they are being launched in different geographies, they are still figuring out viability geography wise, like what is the willingness to pay and what is the sweet spot for each geography, for each market they enter. So they are figuring out the viability part now. They are no more in the feasibility mode.
Yeah, exactly. So that is what I was saying. Like
Absolutely, I do agree on this part that I do agree on the part that mood is something which was not feasible back when iPod and iPod used to exist. I do agree with you on that, Sayed.
Because now we have the resources. Now we can think of it like, yeah, we have
Absolutely.
the resources. Now we can use those resources to build the mood. This is the part we have been ignoring till now because we didn't have a feasible option for that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, Shubham, we can move forward now.
Yeah. So core elements of jobs to be done frameworks are very simple. There are key things in it. Job performer hai, who will perform the job. There is job, exactly what the user wants to do. For mapping jobs, you need to understand the process. This is where you will have to go to the fine task or subtask of a job. And obviously they are doing the job and process because they have some need, why they are doing it. So you need to understand the who, what, how, why, and all of this comes with a circumstance. Where are they doing it? When they are doing it? So these are the more core elements of the jobs to be done framework, and we will take up everything one at a time. So job performance is your, so I would like to say, I don't want to call them murgas, but generally you have an element for your customer, fun element for your customer, bakra hai customer, whatever you say in your company. But obviously job performer is your customer, and you need to understand it in two contexts. One is B2C scenario and the other one is B2B scenario. In B2C scenario, you are interacting with just one guy who is your end user, and you need to understand what he is going to do. Like he's hiring your product for what? Like simple one statement would be sharing good looking photos, sharing personal moments, booking tickets. So sharing good looking photos is Instagram, sharing personal moments is story on Instagram or Snapchat. Booking tickets is it can be Make My Trip, it can be Book My Show if you are booking movie tickets. And in B2C marketplace, in a marketplace model, you have both the sides. You will have a demand side and you will have a supply side, and you have to fulfill both. So in supply side, if you look at a Swiggy or if you will look at an Amazon, they have also built a product, or a Zomato, they have built a product for supply side. They are helping restaurants in managing their inventory. They're helping them fulfilling the food orders. Zomato used to give, I guess, table management and hotel management SaaS product to hotels to list themselves on the marketplace Zomato has, right? And obviously, Make My Trip is giving a solution to travel agents, or or Yatra.com is giving a solution to travel agents in their supply side to manage the booking. Similarly, Amazon is giving a solution to the supply side to manage the inventory, to manage the bookings, to manage the orders they are getting, right? So in B2C marketplace, you will have two categories of end user. One is supply side and one is demand side. Demand side is again, we are ordering food, we are ordering products, we are booking a taxi, booking tickets. So B2C marketplace have two job performers. One is on the supply side, other one is on the demand side, and you have to do research with both of them separately. And when it comes to B2B scenario, it becomes a little bit more difficult because you have end users, and additionally in a B2B scenario, you will have a manager who the end user reports to. There will be an approver of the product. So this is the guy who will be approving whether they can buy this product or not, or they should buy this product or switch from the older product to this product or not. And then comes the senior management, or the people who take call on buying the product, whether the cost, whether the viability option is right or not, willingness to pay yahan pe aata hai. So you have to understand everybody's job in detail, everybody's tasks in detail, to make sure that the product is going to offer everything to everyone. Like they should be satisfied properly. You should not just think about your end users. And that's where a lot of B2B products get it wrong. They focus too much on end users, and they end up not building anything or any offering for the manager, approver, or the buyer of the product. So we have covered the first element, which is who is doing the job. Now let's talk about the job itself. What is exactly being done? So job is a very simple definition to job is set of tasks or steps you take to achieve progress or get some outcome. These are the tasks you will do to achieve some outcome. For example, the task you were doing to listen to music was to feel good after listening to music. The outcome is feeling good after listening to music, having a happy feeling, right? And progress you will, other example is when you're filing a tax return. The tasks you will do while you do the file your tax returns are the jobs. Progress you make is you're filing, progress you make is you have filed your tax return on time, and you will get a amount back from the government on the taxes you have paid, right? So that is the outcome. The positive outcome is you will be able to maximize the amount you get in return, or you file the return on time, or you are able to save more on taxes. So these are all the outcomes you will have once you file your once you do all these tasks. Now, as I said, job will be a main job. So main job for filing tax return is very simple. For main job for listening to music is very simple, right? Listening to music, but there are aspects involved in it. So main job is listening to music. You can divide it into simple steps, into more detailed steps, which are micro or macro jobs. And then there is emotional and social aspect to attach to it. So what is main job? So it is a functional part. Functional as in listening to music is the functional part. Experience is the emotional part, what experience you will feel after completing the job. Micro and macro jobs are the steps you are taking to listen to jobs. So you are finding a cassette, you are finding or retrieving the cassette, or you're finding the music on your playlist, or you are getting a recommendation. All these are your micro and macro jobs. And social job is how a performer is perceived by others. Like once you have listened to some music and you are able to share it socially, you will start feeling good about it. People will talk and people will comment on it. You are able to share your playlist to people, and people will come and like say good things about your music taste, and you will start feeling more recognized socially. So there are always functional parts. Functional part को और drill down करके आप steps में जा सकते हैं, micro और macro में. And emotional and social parts are some things which people miss out on. People don't focus on emotional part, and that's where they start becoming obstacles. They start becoming pain areas as well. Most of the time people get into so much, they are getting so much into the functional part, they are totally forgetting that we are humans and we have emotions and we are social animals. So emotional and social jobs start getting neglected. So how do you find these things? Finding these things is very important. ये मैंने concepts तो आपको समझा दिए, right? These are the words you are listening right now. But how do you observe and how do you map the process? Like how do you observe the person? So for that, the process part comes into the picture, how they are doing it. When you observe how they are doing it, you can classify it into main job, micro jobs, emotional and social. So you need to understand how they are using it, what is the chronology of steps they are taking, right? So to do that, these are the set of verbs you can use. First step is define, plan, select, determine. Second, so you can read through it and I'll just move to the example and keep connecting the dots for you. These are the steps you can take: define, plan, select. So you are selecting the music, then you are retrieving the music, then you are executing, you are playing the music, you are doing the transaction, right? And then you are modifying the playlist according to your mood, or according to what you're listening to. If you're not liking whatever has been recommended, you want to change it. So these are the steps you are taking, and these verbs can help you define the process. So define, plan, select, locate, gather, access, retrieve, prepare, set up, organize. These are the steps. These are the verbs which will help you understand the steps or observe the person who is doing the steps, and you can associate one verb in each step. You will be able to associate at least one verb in each step he is doing to get a job done. So let's try to take an example, and I would love to hear from all of you as it is tax filing time. How do you file your income tax return right now? What are the steps you take while you file your income tax return?
So Shubham, the first thing would be to get the Form 16 from the organization, right? Or I mean, from wherever each one of us would get it. And
Okay.
then typically I file it myself because I don't have much of secret investments here and there. So,
So obviously
I go to.
so the first step is planning, I guess. And वो plan हमेशा ऐसा होता है कि जब deadline आ रही तब plan करते हैं. कोई एकदम time पे plan
That
नहीं
is true.
करता.
That is mostly on the 31st, whenever the deadline is, month irrespective, right?
Absolutely. And second
Yeah,
thing
so it is
you said was gathering the Form 16 from your organization. Access Form
Form
16 or gather
16.
it.
That's right. That's right. And also any investment proofs that I may have submitted to the organization. Those, yeah. And then we go to the income tax filing website, which is the government website. And then, yeah.
So just to keep mapping what you are saying for the others as well. He's planning, then he's gathering information. He is going to organize as per the different sections, whatever investment proofs he has. Then he will examine whether all the proofs are right and everything is matching or not. And then he will confirm everything is right. And then, as Mohit was saying, he will go to the execution phase. He will file the tax return. Go ahead, Mohit.
Yeah, so I think that's it, right? So we go to that website, and depending on the nature of your income, whether it is it's a salaried person, or if you're a businessman, then it's a different form. But typically for salaried person, there is I think a Saral form, which is a 2-page or 3-page. I think it's a 2-page form. I have not filed it yet, but I believe there was some simplification which were made. And it's a simple process to file that. And you actually, as you mentioned, right, you match the numbers there with the Form 16.
Absolutely,
and then
absolutely.
You get going.
So confirm, validate is the part where you filled up the form, you have done your preparation, and now you are validating whether everything is right or not. And then you may decide, or you may, if you decide, the next step you will take is perform or execute the action of filing the tax return, right?
Right. So what I understand, because I work with the income tax department as a customer, right? So what I understand is they're trying to do it as much as pre-filled as they can, right? So the form, they're targeting that the form should be as much as pre-filled, rather than the end user has to go online and then fill those details, because that's where the error happens, right? And that's where then you have to, as an individual, reach out to the income tax officer, and that's where the corruption happens. So they're trying to remove that layer of corruption by making the form as much as pre-filled as it can be.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the next step, I feel, so all of you have Form 16s you get, and probably you've already have the taxes to the minimum. But sometime if you are not, so in early stage companies, what what happens is, and this has happened to us from last 3 years, now we get form 16, but early stage companies, when there are no accountants, TDS is deducted as such, and you then file a return and you get back money in return. अगर आपने टैक्स ऑलरेडी भर दिया है और आपने कुछ टैक्स सेविंग्स कर रखे हैं, आपने इन्वेस्टमेंट्स कर रखे हैं, you can get back the money from the government saying कि I'm doing these investments and my salary hence is not this but this, and I'm not in this tax slab, I'm in this tax slab, so return me the tax back which I paid to you. So that's where your monitoring or tracking part comes into the picture, whether the thing you filed is correct or not, and now you're tracking. When you are tracking, you need to understand, was there any misdeclaration which happened from my side, or anything, any problem happened. So you will, if there was some negation, you will modify and you will again go back to the same stage, or you will track whether the money has come to you or not. And if it is not, again you will update that to the authorities. You will be able to raise a ticket that you are not getting your money on time in the return. And once you get the return, obviously everything is finished, right? These are the steps. I hope everyone relates to it. Mohit is relating quite easily to it. How are other people filing their tax returns? Are you guys using pen and paper, or are you guys using an online tool, or are you guys going to a CA, or are you using any product like TurboTax or ClearTax? How others are filing their taxes?
Generally, I take help of the CA because I'm not that good at it.
Absolutely. What about others? Anyone who is having a CA to manage his funds, or everybody is doing on themselves, like going to government?
Hi Shubham. This is Ankur. I use a CA friend's help. So the only step that I have to do is that get my statements out and mark all the transactions, and then just reach out to him, and he files it on their portal that they have, and yeah, that's it.
Syed, I want to highlight some points here for you, because I guess you had a lot of questions on pain and gain. You can see that most of people are going to CAs. I can tell you why. The pain is undesired outcome. They have a fear that I can get it wrong. And second thing is obstacle. They don't know which section they have to declare what investments. It is so hard to understand these sections. It is so hard to organize the data. It is so hard to understand that form, that people are going to a CA, because first they have their reservations. They feel that risks are too high. Then there are obstacles, and they are fearing the undesired outcome. Agar maine kuch misdeclare kar diya, to I am not a Vijay Mallya. I will not be exempted by this government, right? So I will obviously be subject to fraud case or income tax rate per sakti. These are the general problems because of which people, even individuals, are going to CA. A business going to CA, I can totally understand, but individuals going to a CA, these are the obstacles or risks or bad outcomes they have in mind.
Yeah, I would like to add one more reason.
Yeah.
So the basic reason is the easier option. So because I have a friend who is ready to file my income tax without I have to do anything. Obviously. that is my choice. So yeah.
Absolutely. So ease is there. You are getting a confidence. You are not having a high risk. You are not worried about the undesired outcome anymore, because you have already given him all the things, and he will take care of the validation part, preparation part, gathering part, planning part, right? You have just given him one thing, things required to file it. But these are the steps. If I can correlate to everyone, these are the verbs we used, and this is something Mohit gave to us. And plan, gather, prepare, validate, file it, track it, right? This is a simple thing which you do, right? Now, why do you feel, so I'll give my example. I never had a CA. My dad still uses a CA, but I filed my first income tax return on ClearTax. And trust me, the experience was so good for me. I didn't plan it. I obviously, being an engineer, we never plan things. We go to almost the deadline wala part. 3 दिन बाकी था, तब मैंने plan किया कि भरते हैं. I simply had my 26 AS form. I didn't even have form 16. So I was just knowing what's my salary and what's the gross TDS deduction I have done. But the way they have developed the form to help me gather data and to help me prepare data. The two things which is being helped by, or which is being done by a competing solution, which is CA. That's where I want to show you, Syed, that कोई product हो भी नहीं सकता है market में, और आप तब कर रहे हैं. जैसे example is TurboTax, they did it for USA and ClearText did it for India. That product था ही नहीं market में. It was a manual PDF which used to be filled before Government of India came with a income tax filing form, and that was being filled by the CAs, right? So they were competing with a human who is providing service, and that's where Mohit ka bhi dot connects into the picture. There was a service company which was a CA consultancy firm providing service, and now a product is competing in the service category, right? They are helping you gather the information in one place, prepare it, validate it, and file it. And guys who have Form 16, it is so easy for them to do it. You upload the Form 16, it extracts all the information as per your Form 16. And because at the very beginning of your fiscal year, आप अपने सारे investments declare कर देते हैं, and salaried people have, as Mohit said, कोई secret investment होता नहीं है, कुछ चुराने के लिए होता नहीं है, because again, we don't have income sources like Malia, right? So we declare everything to our organization, and all the investments and deductions which we can get from government are all mentioned in that Form 16. So once the gathering part is already solved, you have to just prepare. Now preparing was वो form को पढ़ के आपको पहले form भरना पड़ता था. But then ClearText was able to map all these tasks in a very good way. What they did was they built a solution to extract the information automatically from the PDF, and validation mein they built such a beautiful product that the sections which seem to be not easy to understand for all of us, ATC, ATD as a numbers फेंकते थे CA पहले, and that's how they were getting business, right? When you will talk to your CA friend, they will start asking you questions जिसके बारे में बिल्कुल भी आप sense नहीं बनाओगे, और आप बोलोगे यार तू ही कर दे फाइल, मैं नहीं कर रहा, मेरे को नहीं समझ में आ रहा. But they made the product so easy to understand. Everywhere it was so easy that you can validate and you feel confidence. Yeah, this is what is written. I get 2,50,000 ka deduction for showing the interest of house loan I'm paying. It is matching. I have the document of my house loan. I've already given it to my company, so I can cross validate things very easily. And filing is so easy now. Now what they did was, in filing part, you don't need to go to the Government of India website. You don't need to fill any PDF form manually, or a digital PDF and fill it manually on computer and post it to the income tax department. They're directly integrated with the income tax department. So once you file on their system, everything is filed in the income tax department system, and then tracking also comes. The most important part was tracking whether I got the return money back or whether it got successfully filed or not. And even that is being done in a way that they don't want you to come to the product. They are notifying you about everything on email. So that's where, to get these things right, to get the jobs part right, and that's where I'm coming back to the breakdown of job. What they did was they were able to map the first job, file tax return, main job hai, gathering docs, preparing file, tracking return status. All of these are the micro jobs. All of these are the micro and macro jobs. Emotional part attached to it was the risk, feeling good about it. Like मैं एकदम confident feel कर रहा हूँ, मुझे risk नहीं feel होना चाहिए. These are the confidence factor, and that is where, when they were developing the solution, they made sure that every part of the form is reaffirming your confidence into the fact that you are doing the right thing. They have built the product in a way that anything you are putting wrong, any deduction you are putting wrong, or anything you are putting which is not matching with your Form 16 or any document you are uploading, they are making you realize it then and there, and you are feeling way more confident. You are feeling good about it. You are feeling more safe about it. And obviously they came up with a recent feature where they are also promoting that I did my tax on time. I am a tax I am a tax superman kind of a thing. They have done this recently, where you can share that I filed my tax return on time. So they are also trying to make this more, like they are also trying to now concentrate on the social aspect. Emotional aspect ke liye, they didn't even they don't only have made a product jiske andar aap form में सब कुछ चीजें दे सकते हो. If you will go and check ClearText का website, they have built superb manuals, superb articles which help you understand parts of how tax return works. Now, what additionally they have done is, ये सब आप क्यों करते हो? आप टैक्स रिटर्न भरते हो, सबसे बड़ा चीज आपके दिमाग में क्या होता है? सबसे बड़ा बेनिफिट आपके दिमाग में क्या होता है? Anyone like Ankur, Mohit, what is the biggest thing in your mind? What is the benefit you are looking at?
Compliance, right? I think in my view, it is the compliance part.
Yes.
That
being compliant and
if
obviously saving money.
That's right. And if there is a refund which you are looking at, maybe typically I at least get refund because I don't file the investment savings and all that at the time of Form 16. Yeah. So that and that also comes quickly these days, right? So
absolutely. So that's where what they did was, Mohit, that's where if you are not declaring everything to your company and you are getting the tax deducted and you're getting the refund, what they did was now they have also come up with the tax saving options. You can invest directly from ClearTax into mutual funds, into tax saving schemes. You can keep your interest documents. They are also getting integrated with banks, and you can directly import or directly get your interest certificate कि मैंने अपने house loan पे इतना interest वगैरह भरा है. That also flows into the form preparation process automatically. If you are investing directly with them, they help you out. So what I'm trying to highlight is, if you are getting the three elements so far which we have discussed, the what part, the how part, and who part, if you're getting them correct, you are almost there. You are almost there. Now we are coming to the needs part. If you get these four right, you are good to go. Circumstances, we will also talk about circumstances. Probably can we go for 10 more minutes, Priyanka, or do you want to take some part in tomorrow's session?
Whatever is good for you and others. Means if they are not loaded with too much information, then we can go ahead with 10 more minutes. Otherwise, we can.
Perfect. I think let's conclude this logically, right? I mean, wherever you feel there is a logical end, you can conclude it today.
Yeah. So I will conclude at need, and we will circle back from circumstances from tomorrow. So need is something, so I want to just take 10 minutes out to understand need. And I guess almost every one of us have got the need, right? Feeling safe, safety should be there. I should feel more safer. And I should be able to minimize the time I am taking to file the tax return, because as Ankur said, कि मुझे time नहीं देना है इतना, because if my friend is able to do it for me, I am saving time. So I want to obviously minimize time, and I want to maximize the amount of return money which I'm going to get, the refund money, right? These are the three needs. But how did I come to these statements? ये जो something वाला part था, why do you act in a certain way? You are performing a job and you want something in return, you want to achieve or satisfy something. ये something को मैंने बहुत easily अभी एक statement में डाल दिया, minimize and maximize करके, right? But when you are researching researching about a new product segment or a new problem segment, these statements will not come very easily to you. We file tax returns, that's why we are able to, we have done that jobs, that task, that's why we are able to define those needs very easily. So when you are doing something, when you are in a problem space, just आप research कर रहे हो और you're trying to get into the in the shoes of your user, needs and outcomes can be defined with a very simple method. Direction, so let me just give you the statement first. Direction of change, unit of measure, object, and clarifier. These are the three things which you can use to define a need. And let's have the details first. So direction, it can either go up, it can either go down. So I am trying to maximize the amount I get in return. I want to increase or raise. So these are the verbs you can use or you can think about when you're asking your customer about the needs they have when they are doing a particular job. And there is something which will go downwards. If they use their product, there can only be two directions they can go to, upwards or downwards. Downwards can be minimizing time or lowering the risk they have associated with tax filing. Unit of measurement, as I said, there is always going to be measurement of direction in which you are moving. It can be time, it can be effort, it can be risk, it can be cost, it can be profit. In our case of tax return example, it is the time, it is the risk, and it is the you can put profit there, because you're going to get that refund money back, and it's a profit. It's a thing which you are getting back. So you are maximizing profit, you are reducing the risks, and you are minimizing the time.
The efforts also.
Yeah, and all these things, in all these things you have an object to which you are associating it with. So object is either amount, either it is the amount I'm getting in return, or the time. For like object is going to give you what is the need about, like is it amount, is it about safety, is it about the efforts you're putting in. So object will define that, and clarifier is just to give you more context. So if I will try to put this framework in your mind: direction of change, unit of measure, object, and clarifier, it will sound like minimize time it takes to file income tax return, maximize amount I get back. So maximize is the direction, amount is the unit of measurement, in tax return is your object, and while I am filing the return, it's the context, or it's a clarifier you are getting on the need. So that's where we should stop for today. We will talk about circumstances tomorrow, and we are open to questions now. Like we can discuss if anyone has any questions, we can discuss them today. And tomorrow we will pick up from circumstances, and we will discuss about how you can interview your users using a 4 forces framework. And we'll also discuss about the good practices and do's and don'ts for mapping jobs to be done and mapping pains and gains.
So the example you gave about clear tags.
Yeah.
So they map out all the pains and convert it into gains to build the product.
Absolutely. What they did was they mapped out all the steps. So you are not mapping, again, Sayed, I want to correct you here. When you are doing jobs to be done framework, you are mapping the process. You're not mapping the pains. So pains wala part, I will come, I'll teach how to map pains while you are noting down the process with a framework called 4 forces framework. I will help you with that. Okay, how, when you are mapping the process, you can also put all the pains in there. Ki kaun se step mein kya pain hai. But overall, yes. What they did was they understood at each step what is the pain, and they have converted into a gain.
That was my question in the starting, because in the absence of a solution, what if we map out an issue, if we can measure what are the pain points they currently have, and compare it, how are they gaining, how are they minimizing the pain without any presence of current solution. What are they using currently to minimize the pain that they have, and include that also into our process, like they are going to the service, the CA services to minimize their pain currently. So what they are gaining from there, and if we can come up with more feasible solution for that.
Your voice was, can you connect via headphone, because your volume is too low.
Yeah, what I am saying is whatever pain that I have in an absence of a product. So like there is no service available right now,
right?
And I know the pains,
right?
Now I would see how they are minimizing the pain currently in the absence of a service or a product currently, where they are going to minimize these pains that I have whatever I have figured out. So
right.
Currently, in the case of clear text, people are going to the CAs to minimize their pain.
No, so clear text is replacing CA. पहले लोग CA के पास जाते थे. So CA is a present solution they had, and the competing product which came out in market is clear text. Okay.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Before CA, they were doing it by themselves. Some people used to do it by themselves, or they were going to CA. Now they were going to CA because there were steps involved जिसके अंदर बहुत पेन पॉइंट्स थे, and they were not finding any adequate solution, so they were going to CA.
Yeah, exactly. They are using something to minimize their pain.
Obviously.
Something. So if we can map out those also, like what are they gaining from them, and and minimizing the efforts there also. So what are they currently doing? What are they going through the process? What currently they are doing? Performing the process to minimize their pain, where they are doing and we include that process into our
Correct.
research
So
and
Syed,
come up
just
with a
to
solution.
give you few more additions to it. So CA तो already वो problem solve कर रहा था. Clear text ने वो problem exactly CA की तरह solve करके ये बोल दिया it is free. It is free. What they came up as a viability or business model is they said कि हम लोगों को inspire करेंगे हमारा investment product या हमारे through mutual fund invest करने में, and we will take the brokerage or commission whatever it is, and we will help companies to we will charge only corporates or enterprises to help them with the like priority package in filing tax returns, but we will not charge individuals. And that is where the major shift happened. Why will I pay a CA when I can do it for free and I'm able to do it within 10 minutes? For 10 minutes worth of my time, why will I pay X amount to a CA? So that is what so what they did was उन्होंने exactly समझा कि CA कैसे करता है और क्यों लोग नहीं करना चाहते थे, and then they came up with a gain which is not part of the pain. Paying to a CA was not pain. ठीक है, अब पे नहीं करना पड़ेगा, it's an additional gain. So any pain you convert, any pain you solve is a default. You can say a implicit gain point. And दूसरा होता है explicit gain point which makes you more defensible in the market. तो explicit gain point यहाँ पे था कि मुझे pay नहीं करना पड़ रहा किसी को.
Now I get it. Now I get it. So what the gain becomes here is what I am additionally providing in my product apart from the pain that I am solving.
Absolutely. And it is not supposed to be just feature या experience. Clear text का experience और features तो जो हैं वो almost एक CA की तरह है, but it is not a person you are interacting with. And also they give अगर आपको doubts है, they give help chat and they give a package where you can hire a CA hourly basis or a tax consultant hourly basis or per minute basis. ठीक है, that all they are providing. But apart from the features, the gain point can also be the subscription model or the pay, the way you pay or the way you are building the business model. So even a business model can give a gain point in product.
Exactly, I was coming to that also. Like this becomes the business model also. Like how are we going to approach with the business model with this current pain?
Right. So this is where I want to help all the designers who have joined today and all the business guys who have joined today, that when you are thinking about a problem, don't just think about the demographics. As I said, demographics and also बहुत important है, but when you map out the steps and when you see how they are operating with an existing solution, you will get to know about all their pains, all their jobs, all their tasks, and you will also understand the economics behind it. How much are they paying for it? Are they paying for it or not? How willing they are to pay for it, right? So you can see and you can have all these things properly written down in a customer profile, which is again job, pain and gain. And that's where you start thinking about your solution. That is how you write a good customer profile using Jobs to be Done framework and the frameworks which we got to learn today. On the concluding note, I want to leave you guys with one small homework. Which would be, how would you solve the problem of navigation? And navigation का जो job है उसके लिए 3-4 different products use, मतलब 3 different products use हो चुकी हैं. पहले we used to use a combination of map and compass. Then we had GPS devices, which I feel never came to India. We directly jumped to mobile devices with maps. So why things have changed from there? What all things are there when you are navigating? What are the steps in navigation? What are the emotional things attached? What are the social jobs? What are the micro steps? If you can write down all these things today, whenever you get time or tomorrow, and come up with the rough note or a pick of whatever you have done on the WhatsApp group, we can discuss it on WhatsApp group as well, and we can discuss it in tomorrow's session as well.
Sure, sure.
Great, guys. So I guess I am done for today. Any other questions we have, we can take it, or we can all break off for our Saturdays.
Yeah, I think it's like a loaded session.
I know.
But it was a good session. Like it was really good session. Like learned a lot about the product and how to follow a process and what kind of things to notice when you are doing a research. Like it's not only about asking question, it is also about analyzing their behavior. It is also about analyzing their emotion, what kind of situation they are in. So all those things were really important.
Yes, and this today we have the framework. Tomorrow, if everybody will be joining in who have joined in today, once they join in tomorrow, they will exactly know how now they have a framework of इसको use करके questions कैसे पूछने हैं. Tomorrow we'll be discussing about that, because asking questions in the right way is also important, because users आके खुद से नहीं बताएंगे. As Ford said that अगर आपने users को जाके ऐसे ही पूछ लिया होता तो वो लोग यही बोलते कि we need faster horses. They would have never said that they want a car.
Right. So I think if you have any questions, I think that Shubham would love to answer them all. You can post them in our WhatsApp group, on Design Gupshups WhatsApp group, and we will answer them all. For now, we are just signing off, but we will connect tomorrow with the second part of this. So be ready. And there was a small assignment that Shubham has shared. So it would be great if you can, just do that assignment. It will take like few minutes, and you can share the answer on WhatsApp, or maybe prepare a document and share the link, whatever suits you. So yeah.
Great, guys. I guess I did some justice to your 1 hour, 30 minute, more than that session today. And I hope you guys loved it.
It was fantastic, Shubham. Thank you so much. Thank you, Priyanka.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great Saturday now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shubham.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Shubham. Thanks, Shubham. Bye. Bye.
Yeah, I loved the session.